Hey guys and girls, welcome to a cold Sunday afternoon. Chris and I just left Midway Hills Baptist Church, and we are headed over to my daughter's, Sherry's, and we have Benelli in the back. I have my beautiful Chris sitting right here beside me. Maybe about to take a nap. You gonna take a nap while I drive, baby? She shook her head yes. I'm sure you heard it rattle. I didn't hear that rattle, really. Actually, I did. Oh me. We got a busy week this planned as usual, and we'll be gone from the ranch for a day, and then we'll be back at the ranch. So everything's looking good. Apache's going to be there, taking care of everything for us, and taking care of the deer, taking care of the ranch, and so everything's going to go well. We got some weather coming in. We're going to get back hopefully before that weather gets too bad. And when you have bad weather, it's really good to be at home when you have bad weather. Either that or be in Florida, one or the other. I don't know which. But we were spent 19 days on the road. We got to spend the week at the ranch this week, and it was wonderful. Out on the road was a great trip. Got to fish 4 days, as I mentioned, of that 19 days, which is not very much fishing in 19 days, but at least we did get to fish 4 days, and I'm very thankful for that. We spoke at a few churches while I was gone, and just really great church events. One was in Blackshear, Georgia. I was there in Blackshear, Georgia the night that the freezing rain hit. When I came out of that church about 10 o'clock or 10:30 that night, my rent car was covered in ice. They closed the Jacksonville, Florida airport the next day, and I didn't get out till late that night, but it all worked out well. Had a lot of good decisions for Christ there. God had brought some people there that night to get saved, and they did. The end of that trip, I went up to Parkersburg, West Virginia, to an incredibly great church up there, Fairlawn Baptist. We were at First Baptist there in Blackshear, and just incredible night. Great men there, and just had a wonderful time. Up at Fairlawn, we had a sold-out house. They told me, they said we were sold out. First time they've been sold out, I think they said, since 2019. And it's a great event. They had a great event there that evening. We just had a really great time visiting with everybody, and meeting so many new friends, and talking to a lot of people that had been on our social media and watched us on television over the years. And it's just a wonderful evening. Had a lot of decisions for Christ there as well. Several people saved, several people rededicated their life to God. And rededication is something that we as Christians should not take lightly. Some of us need to be rededicating our life on a daily basis, and that's me I'm pointing a finger at right there. And pretty much I do rededicate my life every day to God, because we have a tendency as we travel through this world and we get involved in so many worldly affairs every single day that we have a tendency to stray away if we don't pull ourselves back into that relationship that we have with Jesus. So we got a note back from our friends there at North Lawn Baptist at that great event there that night, and a packed house. I mean, the church every seat, every pew filled up, which was just absolutely wonderful. We had a tremendous event there, and a great meal. Everything was just, it couldn't have been much better. A lot of decisions there for Christ that night as well. I got a note on how many, and there's more than a couple of dozen. I'll put it that way. It's quite a few. I'm not one to really keep track of or count how many people get saved when we speak, because I can't save anybody. The only person that can save anyone is Jesus Christ himself, and all I do is go tell the story and tell the gospel of Jesus, and God steps in and does the rest. We're getting really close to an event that I've been really looking forward to. The event is Friday, February 21, which is just right around the corner, just a couple Fridays away, I guess. And it's called the Men of Meridian. It is at First Baptist Church of it's not First Baptist Meridian, it's Northcrest. I'm sorry about that. Northcrest. I knew when I said First Baptist I was wrong. The right name wouldn't pop into my mind. Northcrest Baptist, there in Meridian, Mississippi. Lordy. And but it's a great event. It's Friday night, Men of Meridian event, and we have incredibly great speakers there that night. I'll be speaking there that night, but we got some really good speakers there as well. One of those speakers will be Greg McMichael. Greg pitched for the Atlanta Braves. Those of y'all that are Atlanta Braves friends remember that. He pitched in the World Series He's a world champion pitcher for the Atlanta Braves, and a tremendous man, and he's going to have a great testimony that night. My buddy Bob Record. Bob Record is an evangelist, and he's just dynamite. He's just dynamite. It's worth coming that night just to listen to Bob Record. I promise you. I'll be speaking, as will Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips is the pastor there at North Crest Baptist, a tremendous preacher, tremendous pastor, and we're just going to have a great evening. So if you're anywhere within a couple, 2 or 3 hours, I'm coming like from Oklahoma. So if you're there anywhere within a couple, 2 or 3 hours of Meridian, Mississippi, and I know we've got tons and tons of outdoor fishermen fishermen and hunters down there around Meridian, Mississippi, though. So whether you go to church or not, whether you're a member there at North Crest or a member anywhere at a church around there, we've been to Jackson, Mississippi several times, and the house is usually packed. Meridian, Mississippi is in the Bible Belt, just like Jackson, Mississippi, and we're expecting a huge crowd there that night. So be sure and get in touch with North Crest Baptist. That's Friday night, February 21. I think that event starts at 6:45, so everybody's got time when they get off work that evening and get over there. It's going to be a tremendous event. I'll be there early, and I'll stay late. You know, I believe in going to those churches just like I believe in fishing. Go early, stay late. That's the way to become a better fisherman. If you want to be a better Christian, go early, stay late. I can tell you one thing. You will really, really be blessed by being at that event. The Men of Meridian, and that's Friday night, February 21. You will be blessed. God will bless you for being there. God will bless you for being there. You will be blessed by what these great speakers have to talk about. That's going to be a great evening, no doubt about it. This weather that we're having all across the country is a roller coaster, no doubt about it. You know, the other night there at the ranch, we went to bed and it was in the 40s. I looked at it about 1 o'clock and it was 48 or 49. And I thought, well, it's getting warmer. And when I got up that morning at daylight, the next morning, it was 52 degrees. And about an hour later, it was 64. It got up to 68 degrees that day, 68 degrees. However, when we went to bed that evening, it was 45. And it is really cold. We got some weather coming in. The Midwest has got some moisture happening in a few places. And I'm going to be running up to my friends up at Expressway Ram up in Evansville, Indiana, and doing some video work for them up there, picking up a brand new Ram truck. Also picking up a brand new Ram truck, and so I'm really looking forward to that. My buddy up there that runs that place, Bob Buckley, and his sons that run the Ford and the Chevrolet dealership down at Mount Vernon. They've got more cars in inventory than anybody in the whole area. They've got better prices than anybody in the whole area. They got better service maybe than anyone in America. They just have tremendous service department. They will not be undersold. If you're thinking about a new vehicle of any kind, they handle 17 different brands, and they'll take care of you better than anybody. I've been buying my trucks from the Expressway for, I guess, 10 or 12 years now. I don't even know how long it's been. It's been quite a while. And actually just purchased 2 more trucks from them this past week, as a matter of fact. And we'll be going down there getting our new Ram truck, and I'm awfully excited about that. Doing a little work for them in some commercials. They told me one of the things we'd be talking about was Ram truck again being named the truck of the year. That's right, the truck of the year. All the brands of trucks out there, and Ram truck once again has been named the truck of the year. And I can tell you it deserves it, because I drive one every day. And I love them, absolutely love them. So, you know, if you're anywhere within, well, even if you're not even close to Expressway Chevrolet, like I buy mine up there, and I'm 400 miles away, and I buy my trucks up there, and cars up there. We bought several vehicles up there, cars up there as well in our family. So you go to expressway.com, see what they have in inventory. I bet they got something that will fit in your garage and in your driveway just fine. So we're looking forward to doing that this week. Fishing season is here and it leaves. It's here and it leaves. There are people out there fishing today. I feel sorry for them. I'm glad I'm not one of them, to be honest with you. But we had a day a couple of days ago, that day that it got up to 68 degrees just a couple of days ago. And it's just amazing how we having this nice warm weather. The average high for where we are here in Oklahoma right now is about 52, 54, 55 degrees. And we either have a lot warmer than that, which is fantastic, or it's just colder than a booger. And a booger's pretty cold, I gotta tell you. A booger's pretty cold. But we've got some icy cold weather coming in here, maybe some ice on the highways. maybe from snow, and I'm hoping that I get to drive on dry roads tomorrow, but and the next day on the way back. But it looks like that may not be the case. But anyway, weather is just playing havoc with the fishing. There's a lot of people going out and not getting a bite right now. I'm going to tell you, I'm one of them. I'm one of them. If you'll notice, you haven't seen any videos of me fishing off the dock lately. I usually will catch a fish or two and set my camera up on a tripod, or set my iPhone. I don't really use a camera, but an iPhone up on a tripod and try to catch a fish down there too, and talk about how I caught them and a little bit about what's going on right now this time of the year. The last 4 or 5 times I've been to the dock, I've not had a bite, not a single bite. As a matter of fact, in January, during the entire month of January, I don't know, I was gone 19 days, but I went down there maybe 3 or 4 days, caught one fish. That's all I caught, one fish off the dock. And the fish are just, they seem to be down in that grass pretty deep right now. And so if you're living around in the lake that's got grass on it, fish around that grass, you have a chance to catch a fish. If you're not, you need to be out looking for the bends in the creeks, on where the creek comes out and hits the main lake. It gets out of the main body of the lake, and that creek makes bends. Those fish now have got it down in those creeks, and they do that this month. The coldest part of the winter, they get down those creeks and they gravitate toward the bend. So you find a bend, an inside bend or an outside bend. A bend has both. Fish might be in one or the other or both. And you find those bends, you can catch some fish, and you catch a lot of them 30 or 40 feet deep. Now, how do you fish 30 or 40 feet deep? You use a jigging spoon. That's right. A jigging spoon, a CC spoon, or a Hopkins spoon, just a silver spoon or a gold spoon. Drop right down on those fish, pop it up, let it fall, pop it up, let it fall. You should be able to see the fish on your downscope. You should be able to find them that way. Now, I tell you a great way if you don't really have great electronics on your boat, but you have electronics where you can mark out the creek bed, and just mark that creek bed out with buoys, marker buoys. Just go across the creek where you drop into the channel of the creek, or you come up on a bank, either one, drop a buoy. Just make sure they're all consistent. And so if you where you drop off, right when you drop off, drop a buoy where you drop off. Go around, circle around the creek, right where it drops off, do it in. Now you're laying the creek out on the top of the water. 6 or 7 or 8 buoys, sometimes just as little as 5 buoys. You can lay a creek out and you can see where those bends are. You can see where those bends are. We'll go over and find those bends, put a buoy right on those bends. It's good to have 2 different color buoys. Use the buoys in the place you want to fish. Use the other buoys just to mark out the deal. And you can just actually, if you want, you can take and just go from buoy to buoy to buoy and just work down that creek, casting that spoon in front of the water, in front of you, letting it fall down to the bottom, pop it off the bottom. Now, if you're feeling a lot of brush, you got to be really careful because those baits hang up a lot. Those baits hang up a lot. But they're very easy to get unhung too. So when they do get hung, you can get right over the top of them, use that bow and arrow technique and pop that jig loose. And you really won't lose too many jigs. And once you get in the fish, generally you can get right over the top of them and just drop it down to the bottom. Pop it up, let it fall. Pop it up high, not a little bit. Pop it up high, let it fall, like 3, 4, 5 feet. Let it fall. Pop it up, let it fall. Pop it up, let it fall. If you're fishing down that creek, going from buoy to buoy, cast out in front of you, let go down to the bottom, pop it up, let it fall. Pop it up, let it fall. A lot of times when you go to pop it up, there's a fish got a hold of it, and that pop up is actually setting the hook, and you can catch them. But you can still catch a lot of fish that way. That's where most of them are right now, is down in the bottoms of those creeks, and they're gravitating toward the bends in the creeks. If they're not there already, they're going there, and that's where you want to try to catch them this time of the year. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great week out there. It is the time of the year where fishing is kind of off and on. We can have some great days. If you find a bunch of fish in those bends in the creek, you can just absolutely catch one ever drop down. Sometimes catch 30 or 40 or 50 bass that way. All different sizes generally. Most of them are generally, in the 1.5 to 2, 3 pound range, but every now and then you'll snag a big one at the same time. So that's where you want to try to fish. You got lakes that's got grass in it, which a lot of ours in Oklahoma do not. But we do have a few that's got grass in them. But if you, Texas has got a lot of lakes that's got grass in it. Mississippi, Alabama, all those lakes have got all those places. Florida, of course, is full of grass in the lakes down there. But get around the grass if you got lakes that got grass in it. If not, search out those creek channels. Another place that you can look for a lot is if you've got a lake that's got a lot of birds on it, a lot of cormorants, water turkeys, we call them here in the South, or loons. You can get out in the middle of the bays, in the middle of the bay, and find those loons. Look for those loons or water turkeys. Find out where they're diving down and feeding. Go out there and run your electronics and find fish, and you can again drop spoons or gay blades or stuff like that right down on top of them. Some of them will go down real quick, and you can hammer them that way. You can hammer them. They're generally going to be right out in the middle of coves and pockets, just like they're out in that creek. So same technique works in both places, but one of the good ways you can locate the fish is locate those cormorants, locate those loons. They're going to be around the bait fish. The big bass are going to be around the bait fish. You get a lake like, say, Table Rock, that's got smallmouth, largemouth, and spotted bass. You could have some days doing that. That's just absolutely incredible. I got a buddy of mine that guides over there, Mike, and Mike he lives for this time of the year. He lives for this time of the year. And another thing, not hardly anybody fishing out there. Y'all guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one. Fish lucky, and remember, I sure do love you.